Okay, this might be a little bit of a segue, but I just came across it, so please know that the man in that casket is George H.W. Bush in 2018, December. At the conclusion of this ceremony, his son's about to read an envelope that was passed by.
I watched
George
that
gave it to
footage
her,
over and over and
his
over
wife,
again
and then
because of
she
the shocked
handed it to
look on the
Jim.
faces of these people. And
That's from
I'll have to
George
revisit that footage. I
saying,
don't recall
look,
Jeb Bush or the Bushes being given.
okay, so that whole envelope was President Bush telling the family, I'm sorry, we know everything, meaning us. And I'm straight off topic just a bit, but I want to show you this. Bozo Bush on the left talking to the president of the Ukraine. He's completely fooled, but he does support the Ukraine. The Winston Churchill of our time. A Borat-like figure interviewed him in the same window of this. I think he's wearing the same damn getup. And he talked about Shalikashvili in the Republic of Georgia moving to the Ukraine, and he ought to be wearing a uniform. They had him totally bamboozled with a Borat-like interview. So he's halfway gone. So just to zip up through this, you have Prescott Bush, the comparisons to Nazism, our friend Barack. This is all good stuff. Neville Chamberlain, I believe, who was pro-Hitler, again, because of the cannibals. He governed the hypnosis training with the Saudi royalty in Naples for the young men of Flight 11. And you saw his face earlier. Here's the team. And just to restate it, you see all the connections there. IBM, the punch cards, they're in the mix. Nazis are very smart. So here's a crew. I mean, you go back. Nixon's gone, so what do we have left? Ford's gone. There's Scherf, George H.W. There's Barry Ortero. He's Christopher Columbus. There is the product of Barbara Bush, allegedly via Aleister Crowley. Right there. That's the son of George Washington, somehow, I think. If you want to really scramble it up. Willie? There's Ahab, right there. Now, they're all related genetically. And off to the far is Georgia, the governor, the peanut man. Just allow me to do FEMA, accidentally, even though I wrung my hands. I quit on Desert One because he blew up the mission. But I smiled right through it. My wife is a crackpot, but she seems nice. She must have reacted to that envelope that he gave to all of them and Biden. Stand by. And I just discovered this article, so I want to tie it in. I mean, I'm not a military historian, but this is amazing. This ties in Bush. He's with some Ukrainian guy here, maybe Stetsko, I don't know, but 7 decades of Nazi collaboration. They had battalions that helped Hitler when he invaded the Soviet Union. So this goes back so far. And those guys are dark. The Ukraine is dark. They've got biochem labs. The CFR met there. Biden came out of there. You just don't know. They seem like a second stage player, but they are dark. And they had the Ark of the Covenant when Russia was going at it with them. And it's all PSYOP stuff. It's masterful, citywide studio management of conflict with real people dying. The Ukraine. Stand by. Okay, I just switched gears. Now I'm back on my kind of the main purpose here, tying the Roman Catholic Church into Nazi Germany. So here's our Jesuit. He's about to pass away, and we may have one more pope after him. If so, I think it will be the guy from D.C., Winston Gregory or something like that. Here is the second pope who's still alive, Nazi altar boy. Been kind of in the background, definite cannibal. John Paul, Nazi. Surprise, he's a Nazi. He banged a bullet into the crown of the daughter of Muhammad, known to be Fatima, because the guy from Turkey shot him. And he implemented Divine Mercy with Sister Faustina. So you get on that mantra and just go on the terror ride to hell, because if you don't get that forgiveness at the last minute, you're just going to burn forever. So this man passed away. He was put into place after they murdered this guy. 30 days in, low blood pressure. I'll call him a liberal pope. Wanted to do things with the Vatican Bank, kind of make changes to procreation rules a little bit, and they got him. So here's Pope Paul VI. He kind of took Vatican II into the Bush era. You have to look at it that way, and I'll show you why. Here's Pope John the 23rd. He kicked off, he was another relatively short-term pope. He kicked off Vatican II, and I'll show you some things. I may have explained them earlier. And here is Pope Pius the 12th. This man, right here, from 1939 until this guy took over in 58. So he overlorded everything since World War I, in cahoots with the Nazis. So let me get to some of my writing here, just to take you through the link up. Got a lot of good background now. So Pius the 12th, him, accomplished three major things that I noted. The Apostolic Nuncio to Germany. Well, it wasn't an accomplishment, it was an assignment. So he's the spokesperson, nunc, to announce to Germany, the apostolic one, to Germany. So he's the LNO from the Vatican to Germany. Let me keep saying it. So he's also, at a point, he was the Cardinal Secretary of State. That's roaming the world, doing the treaties on behalf of the Vatican, while being the LNO to Germany from 39 to 58. And he established the Reichskonkordat with the German Reich, with a man named Fritz von Papen. And von Papen was the chancellor, and a guy named von Hindenburg was the president. Then Hitler slipped over, and he was tied in with Hitler. So he kind of made that transition on behalf of the German Empire. That's what the Reich stands for. So this Pope entered into a contract with the German Reich. I'll show you more later, if needed. So this is a chronology of things that occurred. Okay. John the 23rd, big man, passed away on June 3rd, 1963. This is the Kennedy assassination window. And it was turned over to Vatican II, Pope Paul VI. It was occurring during the autumn of every year, 62, 60, for 4 years. I only wrote through 60, 63 to show my link-up window with Bush. So at the Vatican II now, this guy, John the 23rd, this is why this is so important, the meaning of words here. You could go either way with these, and that's why I drew these arrows. It's amazing when you look at it, because, let me get my focus in here for you. His quote, the spouse of Christ, which is, as I mentioned earlier, I believe, it's supposed to be us, but we're Christ. So it's completely distorted. and it prefers to use the mercy of medicine, or the medicine of mercy. Go either way with it. I believe it was written the other way in his quote. But it's medicine. Medicine. As opposed to that of severity. So when he talks about severity, he's talking about everything pre-Vatican II. And this man, his predecessor, had made a bunch of treaties and with all the players, and it was Nazism hidden in the, walking arm in arm. So he was, in a way, you could say, trying to make some changes to Americanize, Westernize. They turned the priest around so he could face the audience. They did all these ritual things. They took it out of Latin. They Westernized. It's a way to say it. Many of the conservatives bitched about it from back then. They fractioned off the church. This is when the church is like old Roman Catholic people that still face away from the altar and speak in Latin and all this other madness in the Vatican. But it's all a death ritual. It's one big lying death ritual that includes the words of our brother, who is the true chosen one, Yeshua ben Joseph. So these guys are a bunch of hijackers. All of them. Every one of them. This guy's the closest thing to reasonable, and they schwacked him. Going all the way back. I just went at beginning of World War I. So now, to continue on chronology, let's stay on chronology. 23 is dead in 63, so Pope Paul VI takes over. He had made this statement. In this window, he goes away in June, boom, of 63 now. This is back in 62, just to clarify times. So a month later, after 23 kicks, JFK met with Pope Paul VI. So they met. Kennedy had his head blown off 2-3 months later. And they walked it. Well, they had the whole autumn Vatican II thing going on then. And Bush is in the background. We just covered a whole bunch of Bush and Nazi stuff. And then in November 63, Kennedy was assassinated. So from there, you have a hand-in-hand relationship going on. So remember now, the Vatican is hand-in-hand with Germany and Bush, because he took the handoff. So things like just war is a part of the church doctrine. And George Bush had just cause to go get Duterte to protect his cocaine. These guys kind of don't know that, but this is Archbishop Vigano. He was like the emissary to America, and he's speaking at a conference, and I'm going to let him talk, and I'll speak when I need to.
Under the very dome of St. Peter Basilica. The bottom line of this conformity on the part of the anti-church with the dominant ideology of the modern world.
See, he's outing Francis.
Establishes a real cooperation with powerful representative of the deep state, starting with those working toward a sustainable economy, involving Jorge Mario Bergoglio,
that's Francis,
Bill Gates, Jeffrey Sachs, John Elkann, to mention a few.
So Bill Gates is the big
Allow
one.
me a brief word
He's Mr.
about
COVID.
the political situation in the United States on the eve of the presidential election.
See, he's got him hanging there.
Fratelli Tutti seems to be a form of Vatican endorsement of the Democratic candidate.
Look at the painting in the back. Like, hey, go down.
Donald Trump. And a few days after Francis refused to grant an audience to Secretary of State Mike Pompeo in Rome. This confirms which side the children of light are on.
So Pompeo,
and who the children of dark.
Pompeo was Trump's Secretary of State and apparently the Vatican denied a visit because it was a way of Francis throwing down on the Democratic candidate. According to him. He would have went either way, I suppose.
I'm talking now about the ideological foundation of brotherhood.
Because Trump is running this everything now.
The theme of
Okay,
brotherhood.
stand by. Bush gave Trump the coin. So everything that's going on right now, this man probably doesn't even know this. But Trump is masterminding this. This division where the church internally is fighting, and this man's defending Trump.
An obsession for Bergoglio.
And Trump's the Antichrist.
Find itself first formulation in Nostra
He's
Aetate
Revelation 12.
and Dignitatis Humanae. The latest encyclical, Fratelli Tutti, is the manifesto of this Masonic vision in which the cry Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité replaced the gospel for the sake of a unity among men.
See, a Catholic will tell you that a papal encyclical is like Mount Sinai speaking. Even if the Pope is completely corrupt, when he puts the stuff out in the Word, you take it to the bank.
That leaves out God. Note that the document on human fraternity for world peace and living together, signed in Abu Dhabi on February 4, 2019, was proudly defended by Bergoglio with this word, I quote, "From the Catholic point of view, the document did not go 1 millimeter beyond the Second Vatican Council." I close the quote. Cardinal Miguel Ayuso Guizot, President of the Pontifical Council for Interreligious Dialogue, comments in the Civiltà Cattolica, I quote, "The Catholic Church's commitment to interreligious dialogue, which opens the way to peace and fraternity, is part of her religious mission and at its roots in the Council